Hey Houston, I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Kim Castro. You ready for your 10-minute extended weather forecast? We're going to start you off in the tropics. You might have seen, whether on social media or national media, we've had some impacts from those systems that were in the Atlantic basin along the eastern seaboard. Some coastal erosion did give way to some houses toppling along the seawall. You'll notice Imelda, which is the main culprit for the issues, has moved a safe distance away from land. It's taking a sharp push towards the east. It's now, about 150 miles off the coastline. The outer bands are. The center of the system is more than 500 miles offshore. But still, the Carolinas, even into Virginia, watching the rip current risk all the way through tomorrow at midnight. So Thursday midnight is when that expires. They're also looking at flood advisories. They are tracking gale force winds for mariners. So there's still impacts even though this did not make a landfall in the U.S. Let's have the latest track on Imelda. It's strengthened into a Category 2 hurricane. This is as of the 10 o'clock advisory this morning. It's pushing again towards the east-northeast at 20 miles an hour, and it is going to start to weaken. Not before it interacts with Bermuda, though, so they will get a hit from Imelda as a pretty strong storm. Beyond that, it becomes a remnant low and then just a fish storm as it pushes into the northern Atlantic and dies off there. Humberto is already a remnant low. It has 70-mile-an-hour winds, but it's lost its tropical characteristics and lost its organization. By tonight, it fizzles out. So that's it in the Atlantic Basin. Now let's take it back to our local forecast. We've got a couple of shifts to talk about too. Here's a live look from our camera at Hotel Zaza out towards the Med Center. Here is Mr. Houston enjoying a beautiful day. It's so nice outside. Hopefully you get to take an afternoon stroll, or you can just take your lunch outside, enjoy what is shaping up to be a really nice day, similar to yesterday. We're at 89 degrees right now at IAH. It's a little warmer than yesterday, but not much. Dew points are in the low 60s. That's really comfortable, so it actually makes it feel like the air temperature says it is. Oftentimes, that's not the case, right? We have a lot of humidity and it usually feels a lot hotter than that. Here's a live look at Galveston. Nice clear blue sky there. No clouds to track for the island. No clouds in Tomball. We have nice clear sunny conditions in Conroe. Conroe, you're sitting at 89. And Brenham, you're sitting at 88. A couple of high clouds and some fair weather clouds in Pearland. High pressure is overhead, and that's what's keeping things nice and calm. The heat dome brings warmth and it reduces our rain chance. That's because high pressure gives us converging air. Air that meets up sinks down, and air that sinks down dries up. So that's why we don't have rain chance for at least one more day. Now, as high pressure starts to shift towards the east, even just a little movement of high pressure can have some big impacts. And here's why. Air flows clockwise around this area of high pressure. So notice what is on the backside of the high pressure system. It's the Gulf. And so instead of getting a north breeze from high pressure being directly on top of us, once it shifts towards the east, we get a south breeze. And that does start to increase humidity, and eventually, with the humidity building up, we start to see some isolated rain chances as well. So here's the humidity trend over the next few days. Today, dew points are in the 50s. It's comfortable. Tomorrow, we're still in the low 60s. That's not bad. We get a little dip in the humidity for Friday, but then into the weekend and next week, the trend is upwards, and that is going to give us that sticky feel once again. It's also going to bring us a little bit more cloud cover, and that means that the mornings are not going to be as cool as what we've seen this week. So clouds act like a blanket, like insulation, and so instead of the atmosphere releasing all the heat that we get during the day, the clouds trap that, and so the mornings feel a little bit hotter. No rain chance today, no rain chance tomorrow. We talked about that. The rain chance comes in at just at 20%. This is for our Friday into the weekend, and then notice the models have a snapshot that really highlight the area that could have the highest likelihood of rain being along the coastline. So if you do have plans on your Friday, say downtown, in Katy, the Woodlands, I don't think you're going to have any problems. Notice, here's a snapshot at 5 a.m. on Friday morning. So if you do commute along the Gulf Freeway, maybe you live in Kemah, you're in Galveston, you're along the Boulevard Peninsula, even stretching down to Brazoria, Matagorda. That's where you're going to see the first chance for rain. Then in the afternoon, as a sea breeze starts to push in, we've got another chance for some showers. And you'll notice the higher likelihood is again for the coastline, Matagorda, Brazoria, the North Freeway, the Katy Freeway, East Texas Freeway. Everybody else looks nice and clear. Rain is good. It's a good thing because the more days that we don't have rain, the drier our soils become. Today we don't have any rain, but luckily our fire risk is low. It's low to moderate. This is very manageable. The reason being is that we haven't had too long of a stretch of dryness, and we have pretty calm winds. When we have no rain, no low relative humidity and strong winds, those are the ingredients that really hike up the fire risk. So at least the risk remains low. There are 2 burn bans, though, that I want you to be aware of. If you live in Colorado or Wharton County, or perhaps you work there, no burning is allowed because there's a little bit of a higher risk for fire starts and fire spreads in those counties. Rain also helps calm down the pollen, so we actually do want to see the return of the rain chances. Ragweed has been through the roof. At least the count has dropped a little today. It was at 400 yesterday. It's at 275 today, but that's still in the high category. Mold spores are also high. Moderate grasses today, and you don't have to worry about tree pollen, but if you are going outside and you have been sneezing up a storm, you might want to take your allergy medication again today because, the ragweed is ever present. High temperature makes it up to 93 degrees this afternoon. You'll notice it's a pretty day, a mixture of sunshine and some nice cumulus, those cotton candy clouds. Those are the ones that don't bring us any rain. They're friendly clouds, like what I like to call them. We're at 90 degrees all the way through 6 o'clock in the evening. So if you had a plans to exercise outside today, maybe you do it right after 6. 6 to 7, I think, is a good time frame. Sunset time is at 7:06 today. So just keep that in mind. You are going to lose that daylight, and so you might want to get that workout done in that window I just mentioned, 6 to 7, so you can see what you're doing and where you're going. Tomorrow morning, another beautiful start to the day. Maybe you get your exercising done then. 71 degrees in Sunnyside, Gulf Crest 71, 3rd Ward 71. Loop in the Beltway is pretty consistent with the temperature start for tomorrow. North Harris County, a little bit cooler, still in the 60s. If you're in Cypress and Tomball, 68 degrees is going to be your starting temperature, upper 60s for Huntsville. Brenham is at 66, so closer to the mid-60s. But all in all, dry and comfortable start to the day. How about in the afternoon? It's going to be really similar to today, maybe just 1 degree off. And then as we start to welcome those rain chances, I told you they start on Friday and they don't just continue through the weekend, but even into the start of next week. I mentioned along with the rain chances, there's going to be a little bit more cloud cover, and look at how the morning lows are going to shift. So we're starting off tomorrow morning 71, that's nice. Friday morning 70, nice. Upper 60s Saturday, very nice. Then Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, mid 70s. So that is going to be the cloud cover trapping in the heat, and the humidity also starting to ramp up as well. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Those workouts might be a little bit harder as we start next week. All right, our coming newscast is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Our meteorologist Chris Ramirez is here to walk you through the weather forecast. And then our chief meteorologist David Paul is here at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. You can catch an update then as well. Have a beautiful Wednesday.